So in semifinals number 3, 6 big names. Semifinals number 2, 5 big names. Semifinals number 3, 3 big names. So it's looking like Noah Lyles will be in the finals for sure, while everybody else, Noah Lyles and Oblique Seville, should be in the finals, while everybody else will be fighting their way through. Welcome back to another video. Welcome to Write the Narrative, where it's okay to be curious. Like, share, subscribe, and let's talk about the men semifinals from the 100 meters. Today we saw a very interesting 100 meters. Kishane Thompson, he looked very comfortable. Oblique Seville, very comfortable. Akeem Blake, very comfortable. And now in semifinals number 1, we are seeing Noah Lyles lined up against Oblique Seville and Louis Inchcliffe. This looked like one of the easier or the easiest semifinals. What is the motive behind this one? But for sure, Oblique Seville should be able to go through this one without any problems. Noah Lyles is set up to go through this one without any problems, as well as Louis Inchcliffe. If he's able to run a fast time, he should be able to go through. But from the semifinals, only 2 athletes will be going through, 2 automatic qualifiers, followed by the 2 fastest losers. So only 3 athletes will be in the finals. Now in semifinals number 2, we have the big names would be Akeem Blake, Leslie Tobigo, Akani Simbini, and Kenny Benerick. Marcel Jacobs is also in this one. However, we are still looking at 2 automatic qualifiers. Will Akeem Blake be able to get that one, or will it be Leslie Tobigo or Akani Simbini? Now remember, we have Kenny Benerick and Marcel Jacobs. So 5 big names in this one. Remember, the semifinals number 1, we only have 2 big names. Noah Lyles, well, 3 big enough names. Noah Lyles, Oblique Seville, and Louis Inchcliffe. Now, seems like Noah Lyles have a sure shot to the finals, as well as Oblique Seville. One would think that the Jamaicans. Alright, let's keep it rocking for a moment. Now, semifinals number 3, all the big names in this one. Andre DeGrasse, Zarnell Hughes, Kishane Thompson, Ferdinand Omanyala, Fred Curley, and Ben and Richardson out of South Africa. All of these athletes are very fast athletes. Now, one would say that Kishane Thompson is the biggest name, but he's also a debutant. But you must give him the respect that he deserves. One of the biggest names in this. Now, we have Andre DeGrasse, Zarnell Hughes, Kishane Thompson, Ferdinand Omanyala, and Fred Curley. 6 big names in this one. Richardson as well. I think it's Benny Richardson. 6 big names. So in semifinals number 3, 6 big names. Semifinals number 2, 5 big names. Semifinals number 3, 3 big names. So it's looking like Noah Lyles will be in the finals for sure, while everybody else, Noah Lyles and Oblique Seville, should be in the finals, while everybody else will be fighting their way through. How do you guys feel about this one? Do you feel like this one is set up that the showdown between Noah Lyles is definite? No questions asked. It would be a headliner. Noah Lyles would be a headliner on Sunday, lining up against whoever is left. Because if you look at semifinals number 2, where Akeem Blake is lined up against Leslie Tobigo and Simbini, all these, and Kenny Benerick, as well as Marcel Jacob, all these athletes will have to run very hard in their semifinals to get through to the finals. And remember, the semifinals is just an hour before the finals. This is set up for this. Only a Hollywood production could set this up any better, right? One could say that it's a sure shot for Noah Lyles, not having to run the most difficult race ever, but still be able to get through to the finals and still being relaxed. One would say the same for Oblique Seville. In the 3rd semifinals, where we have Kishane Thompson, Zarnell Hughes, Andre DeGrasse, Ferdinand Omanyala, Fred Curley, and Richardson. 6 big athletes, only 2 can go through. Think about it. Only 2 of these big athletes will be able to go through automatically. And then you'll have 1 or 2 of the fastest losers coming from this one. As well as you may have 1 coming from semifinals 2 or 1 coming from semifinal 3. Now, when you take a look at this, the finals will have some of the, you'll have probably have a more subpar finals than one could really expect. This set up for either a slower time in the finals, or it's set up for an athlete to get a sure shot to the gold medal. Just saying, I'm thinking, allegedly, I think. But in semi-final number 3, I want to call Kishane Thompson as the winner in that one, and Fred Curley as the second place finisher in that one. So we may not see DeGrasse, Zarnell Hughes, Ferdinand Ominiala, or Richardson from there. So from semi-finals number 3, Kishane Thompson and Fred Curley. That's my pick. From semi-finals number 2, I'd want to say Leslie Tobigo and Kenny Benerick, Akani Simbini. You see what I mean? So if it's Leslie Tobigo and Akani Simbini, then there will be no Kenny Benerick in the finals, no Akeem Blake, and no Marcel Jacobs. So let's say that in semi-final number 2 we get Leslie Tobigo and Simbini. You'll see a big athlete in the name of Kenny Benerick not going through, a big enough athlete in the name of Akeem Blake not going through, and a big enough athlete, the Olympic defending champion Marcel Jacobs not going through. And from semifinals number 1, you'll see Noah Lyles and Oblique Seville going through, but I think Inchcliffe will be laying it all out on the line, but I do not believe he's fast enough to make it through. So from semifinals number 1, we'll have 2 qualifiers. That's my call, 2 qualifiers, Oblique Seville and Noah Lyles. From semifinals number 2, we'll have 2 qualifiers, Oblique Seville, no, 2 qualifiers from semifinals number 2, Lester Tobigo, Akani Simbini, and then we'll have a fastest loser in Kenny Benerick. That's my call on that one as well. In semifinals number 3, we'll have Kishane Thompson winning, Fred Curley placing second, and then it's up in the air with Ferdinand Ominiala or Zarnell Hughes from that one as well. Only two, however, may not get one from this one, but only 2. I just wanted to put this into perspective, and I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about the way how these semifinals are drawn? Do you think it is spread out enough? Do you think that some athletes have a better shot or an easier shot to the finals? Or do you think that it's all equal at this point? All these athletes are professional, they were prepared to be there, and they'll have to take what they got. One thing we should also put into perspective, the coverage of the heats, I don't think it was equal. Some athletes just did not get any chance for the fans to see them. We have to look for them on the internet, especially since they cut them off as soon as the poster boy himself, Noah Lyles, ran his heat. Drop your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. Rewrite the narrative. Like, share, and subscribe.